Before money improves your lifestyle, it changes your psychology. When you're constantly low on savings, your brain stays alert, tense, and reactive. Every decision feels urgent. Every expense feels dangerous. You're not thinking about growth, you're thinking about survival. But once you reach a certain level of financial buffer, something subtle happens. Your mind slows down. You start thinking a few steps ahead instead of just the next paycheck. This shift creates mental space to reflect, plan, and make better decisions. The money itself hasn't transformed your life yet, but your relationship with uncertainty has already changed, and that mental shift is where real financial progress begins. At this stage, money slowly stops being something you think about every single day. Not because you're rich, but because the constant fear begins to fade. You no longer check your balance. With anxiety, small expenses don't trigger stress. Unexpected costs feel inconvenient, not threatening. Psychologically, this is important. Your brain is no longer in survival mode. When basic financial fear disappears, mental space opens up. You start thinking more clearly. You make decisions based on logic, not panic. This is often the first time money feels neutral, not scary, not exciting, just manageable. Once money stops dominating your daily thoughts, something subtle changes. You begin thinking less about today and more about tomorrow. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this now?" you start asking, "Is this good for me long term?" This is a psychological shift. Your mind moves from short-term survival to long-term planning. You think about saving not because you're afraid, but because you're calm enough to care about the future. Goals start to feel realistic. Time feels slower. And for the first time, money becomes a tool, not a constant worry. You don't rush, you don't panic, you don't accept bad deals just to feel secure. Money doesn't make you brave, it makes you calm. And calm people make better decisions. When money is tight, fear quietly makes your decisions for you. You stay in situations you don't like. You say yes when you want to say no. Not because it's right, but because it feels safer. But once you reach financial breathing room, fear loses its grip. You no longer choose the fastest option, you choose the smartest one. When you're broke, everything feels like a threat. A broken phone, a sudden bill, an unexpected email from your boss. Your mind is trained to protect, not to grow. But once you're financially stable, something quietly changes. The same situations don't scare you anymore. They become options. A problem becomes a puzzle. A risk becomes something you can measure. An idea becomes something you can actually act on. Money doesn't create opportunities. It gives you the space to notice them. And most people never realize how many chances pass them by simply because they were too busy surviving. At some point, something unexpected happens. Money stops being the main goal. You still care about it, you still manage it, but it no longer defines your worth, your mood, or your decisions. You don't chase money to feel safe anymore. You use money to protect what already matters. Time becomes more valuable than things, peace becomes more important than status, and freedom feels better than numbers on a screen. This is why a certain amount of money changes everything. Not because it buys happiness, but because it gives your mind permission to focus on life.